Make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President.
I'm sorry, yo. I'm sorry. That just makes me so uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable. This debate was hands down probably the worst debate in American history, or will go down as one of the worst debates in American history. I don't think I've been that physically uncomfortable in a minute. When I tell you, it wasn't even secondhand embarrassment. It was more so like a sense of anger that I started to feel. Every single person who is surrounding Joe Biden right now in his immediate circle, who is pushing him to continue to run, you are probably some of the most selfish individuals ever. I'm not even joking. This is exceeding policy. This is about human decency. For example, people keep saying, oh, it's his age, his age. This has nothing to do with his age. This has everything to do with his health. We cannot continue to push someone to their breaking point because we dislike somebody else so badly. We cannot use him as a sacrifice or whatever you want to say just because you do not like Trump. This exceeds policy. It's about being a human being. Imagine if that was your grandfather on stage and the world is laughing at him and the world is poking fun at him. This is beyond ridiculous. Beyond ridiculous. The reason why I always say that this has nothing to do with age, because when we look at politicians like Bernie Sanders, for example, Bernie Sanders, I believe, is actually older than Joe Biden. And the fact that Bernie Sanders is still going and still moving goes to show it's like, okay, he's capable. But when we look at politicians like Mitch McConnell, for example, and Joe Biden is giving very much let them rest, let them chill, let them retire in peace. We compare Barack Obama from when he first came into office compared to after his first term, it's day and night. And compared to his second term, it's day and night. You know why? Because being the president of the United States is probably one of the most stressful jobs this country has, mainly because you're holding the weight of the country on your shoulder. Compare Joe Biden from when he first came in to now. 4 years is not a lot of years, but 4 years makes a big difference. So I can't even fathom how he would look another 4 years after if he were to become president this upcoming election. I am perplexed that we even strategized to have him do another term. Now that I gotten that off of my chest, we're gonna watch the best bits. I don't know why it's titled the best bits. There wasn't a lot of best moments in that debate, to say the least. This is Donald Trump and Joe Biden's bizarre presidential debate. Let's begin.
And since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. It's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country.
That $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President.
I'm sorry, yo. I'm sorry. That just makes me so uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable. Like, what? And Donald Trump, honestly, during this debate, Donald Trump didn't have to do much. He genuinely did not have to do much, even though he got away with a lot of lies as well. I would say a lot of lies. So did Joe Biden too. Both of them really, they should have done live fact checking because both of them were really being kind of dramatic on some of the points. But Donald Trump did not have to do much, mainly because Joe Biden was almost like, oh my gosh, like Joe Biden he just did not do good. He didn't do good at all. He did not do good. I don't know if y'all I feel so uncomfortable just even rewatching this. Like, it's so sad. Like, I'm not even, let's continue.
Biden, President Trump.
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare because all of these people are coming in. They're putting them on Medicare. They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. As far as the abortion is concerned, it is now back with the states. The states are voting. In many cases, it's frankly a very liberal decision. In many cases, it's the opposite. But they're voting, and it's bringing it back to the vote of the people, which is what everybody wanted, including the founders, if they knew about this issue, which, frankly, they didn't. But they would have. Everybody wanted brought back. Ronald Reagan wanted it brought back. He wasn't able to get it. Everybody wanted it brought back, and many
deserves an
presidents
Oscar.
had tried to get it back. I was the one to do it. And again, this gives it the vote of the people, and that's where they wanted it. And just 1 second, he said we killed 3 people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the 2 greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world. And it had a huge impact on everything, not just border, on everything. He's the one that killed people with the bad water, including hundreds of thousands of people dying and also killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, in every state in the union because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border.
I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery, he refused to go to.
I just feel like I truly, truly believe, because they did say Biden was at Camp David, I think the week before this debate. They were getting him ready and practicing and so forth. I wouldn't say, not me trying to give him an excuse. It's like, I wouldn't even say over-rehearsed, because I read that they gave him like 5 points for each topic. But I think he needs to surround himself with different people, like people who are willing to be honest with him, people who are willing to actually tell him the truth of what the average American is thinking, because I truly believe he thinks he's doing good. He's doing good enough to win, which he's not, unfortunately.
He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump.
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up, and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have. To think that I would, in front of generals and others, say
This
suckers
face
and losers. We had
expressions.
19
I
people
can't.
that said it was never said by me. It was made up by him, just like Russia was made up, just like the 51 intelligence agents are made up, just like the new thing with the 16 economists are talking. It's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia disinformation. It wasn't. That came from his son, Hunter. It wasn't Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize to me right now.
4-star general standing to your side who was on your staff who said,
Okay, the fact that Donald Trump is saying that anybody owes him an apology, that's a conversation in itself. 2, the face expressions, he just looks lost. Joe Biden looks really, really lost.
you said it, period. That's number 1. And number 2, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history. The crimes that
He
you
low-key
are
ate
still
that up.
charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have. How many?
He said
millions
the
of
idea
dollars
that I
you
have to
civil penalties
apologize to you for anything.
for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant. I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
I'm not even gonna lie, Joe Biden, he ate him up. He ate him up over there. He ate him up mainly because, like, literally that was probably his highest moment of the entire debate, which is kind of sad, to be honest, but just the messenger here. I just wish that Joe Biden just really needs to work on his delivery. I know he already has speech problems, so like the speech problems that's something you can't really control. Like that's why he trembles over his words, but his delivery and his energy and how he says certain things, it just comes off as so dull.
I didn't have sex with a porn star.
And the idea that he's talking about
He didn't have sex
all
with
this
those,
being
right?
fabricated. We saw with our own eyes. We saw what happened on January 6th. We saw the people breaking through the windows. We saw people occupying his own vice president. Look, there's a reason why 40 of his 44 top cabinet officers refused to endorse him this time. His vice president hasn't endorsed him this time. So why? Why? They know him well. They serve with him. Why are they not endorsing him? And by the way, with regard to prescription drugs, one company agreed that they would reduce the price to $35, which I was calling for, one, voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world, every pharmaceutical company, cannot have to pay.
Thank you.
And by the way, those 15 Nobel laureates he talked about being
That was
phony,
so awkward.
Those 15 Nobel laureates, economists, they all said that if Trump is reelected, we're likely to have a recession, and inflation is going to increasingly go up. And by the way, worst president in history, 159 presidential scholars voted him the worst president in the history of the United States of America.
What do you say to voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I aced them, both of them, as you know. We made it public. He took none. I'd like to see him take.
I will say this. Donald Trump, number one, he never takes blame for things. That's another thing, like no self-accountability, because there's no way you're walking on the face of the earth like you're perfected, like you're perfection, like you're not Jesus. I think that's something he really needs to work on, is taking accountability where he went wrong, especially during his presidency, so that people can actually humanize him. But when you're walking around the face of the earth like, you know, everyone did A, B, and C to me, they're coming at me. It's like, dude, come on. You don't hold no self of accountability in any of this within your 4 years or the last even 8 years. Like, be for real.
Just one, a real easy one. Like go through the first 5 questions, he couldn't do it. But I took 2 cognitive tests. I took physical exams every year. And, you know, we knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced them.
Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. And by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie. He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was at 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8. But I have, you know how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay, let's
not act like children.
Oh my gosh, this literally sealed the deal. This sealed the deal for me. I was watching this. I can't believe when I was watching this, I was like, am I in, like, what is going on? We're literally using the stage to talk about golf. I don't even know what a 6 handicap is. But apparently people are saying, Joe Biden, you're not a 6 handicap. And then Donald Trump is going to return with, oh, I've seen you swing. You're not a 6 handicap. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. But why are we talking about that right now? The average American cannot afford groceries. We're spending $300+ on groceries. And you're talking about golf. Y'all, make it make sense. Make it make sense.
We're going to
21
turn.
Let's not act like children.
Let's see what your numbers
No,
are.
let's not.
when This election is over. Let's see. You're a whiner. When you lost the first time, you continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country. Not one single court in America said any of your claims had any merit, state or local, none. But you continue to provoke this lie about somehow there's all this misrepresentation, all this stealing. There is no evidence of that at all. And I tell you what, I doubt whether you'll accept it because you're such a whiner. The idea if you lose again, you accepting anything, you can't stand the loss. Something snapped in you when you lost the last time.
Yo, the thing is, Joe Biden had solid moments. Like, whenever he was saying, like, what is wrong with you? Your class is like equivalent to an alley cat or whatever. That was probably the highlight of the debate. I was like, oh, he low key ate that or high key ate that. But it's just like overall, he did not do good. And the thing is, Donald Trump, I feel like Donald Trump didn't even perform. It was more so he was just there. Like, he was just there and everyone was just watching Joe Biden mess up. With that being said, thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you're notified whenever I post a new video. Comment down below. I really want to know your thoughts and opinions. Comment down below your thoughts on the debate. I think this debate single-handedly brought the country together. Like, I don't think I've seen so many people on both sides of the aisle, like, actually come together. So that's the good thing out of it. But thank you all for watching. This is Uruguay Connected People with Policy. I love y'all all. God bless y'all. Toodles.